Welcome to Lockbox, a podcast providing real estate professionals with action items for success. My name is Jeffrey Brogger, and I'm going to be your host. I'm the founder of two real estate marketing and tech companies, STEEZY.Digital and realnurture.io. In this podcast, you'll learn from top 1% real estate and mortgage brokers the exact secrets to their success. Welcome to Lockbox. Welcome to Lockbox. My name is Jeffrey Brogger, and I am here today with Phillip Salem, or as his clients call him, Agent P.
Jeffrey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. So before we dive into, everything that's going on, just first of all, tell our listeners kind of who you are, where you're from, and then we'll get into it.
Cool. Hello, world. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Phillip Salem. I'm a New York City real estate agent with Compass. I've been an agent for about 4 years, but I always say that I'm so much more than just a real estate agent. I have a clothing line. I have a candle business. I'm a huge animal advocate. I volunteer with dogs and shelter cats. So I always say I'm not only an agent for people, I'm an agent for dogs as well, helping them find their forever home. And, I'm an open book. So whatever you want to ask me, Jeffrey, I'm happy to answer for your listeners.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. And I love the personal story that you mentioned there. We'll dive a little bit deeper into that for sure. So what I'd love to just start off with is what got you into the real estate industry? What was like your first exposure to real estate?
This crazy real estate world that we're in.
Yeah.
So I used to own a clothing store. I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I had a clothing store in the Meatpacking District in New York City. And unfortunately, we were forced to close because they were tearing down the building with new rezoning and landmark district approval. So my landlord tore down the building. I thought my life was over because this is what I worked my entire college career and my, introductory career. And my husband was like, Phillip, you're so good with people. You have a huge network now that you have this store. Why don't you just become a real estate agent, monetize on your existing clientele that you already have? And I was like, I don't know anything about real estate, but here I went. My store closed. 6 weeks later, I had my license. I joined a small firm in New York that really focuses on new agents. And I actually started liking it. I'm like, wow, I think I can make a career out of this. And my first year, Jeffrey, I was running around doing rentals for an entire year, working 70, 80 hours a week. And I was like, this can't be my life forever. I need to, segue into sales. So it's really hard when you have a existing clientele that knows you as the fashion Phil, I owned a clothing store. So why would somebody that has $1 million properties choose to work with somebody that has zero experience in real estate, but is, good with them and knows them? So it took me some time to build that reputation that I'm not just Fashion Phillip anymore. I'm also real estate agent Phillip. Now everybody calls me Agent P. So I've kind of meshed the worlds together. I wear whatever I want. I like to be fashionable when I'm out with clients. I have a clothing line now as well. And I sell $1 million properties. So it's a win-win. Everybody's happy.
I love that. That's an awesome transformational story. I think a lot of real estate professionals do struggle with bridging the gap between their previous experience and their current real estate profession. Some might think that it would make them seem unprofessional or not as experienced in the real estate transaction as others. And in the beginning, although that might be true, as you said, over time you can prove yourself to your following that you are the resource to go to, that you are equally as knowledgeable as the other agents in the city. And then naturally, if they like you better, they're just going to go with you.
They're going to choose me. The thing is, I'm not here to take anybody's business. I didn't join this industry to steal people's clients. You see on TV shows that people are mad for trying to steal. I am never like that. If my client, even if my best friend wants to work with somebody else, yay for them. I'm happy for them. You choose whoever you want to work with. I know that I do the best that I can to the best of my ability with honesty and integrity. The clients are going to come to me and the clients are going to stick with me. When I was doing all these rentals, I remember I was posting my first deal that I ever did was a $1,600 rental in Queens. And I was so excited. I was selling, $1,500, $2,000 dresses, luxury retail. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to post it. I did my first rental deal, 1700. Throughout that year, my deals kept going higher and higher and higher. Eventually my first year I did I think $15,000 or $16,000 rental. And that's when the mindset started changing. Well, Philip is all real estate now. He is so passionate about this. To be honest, Jeffrey, did I love what I did the first year? There were times when I wanted to quit. 90% of agents quit their first year. But I said, you know what, Philip, push through it, see how you do with everything. And I'm so happy that I stuck with it. Now I'm going on five and a half years of being an agent. But like I said in the beginning, I'm so much more than that. This industry has allowed me to do so many other things in my professional career, that I wouldn't be able to do potentially in a 9-to-5 job that takes up so much of my time. So
Right.
not that real estate doesn't, but I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. So I'm not one to ever stop. So I'm like, I got to expand my business. What can I do with Agent P's brand to keep expanding? And here we are.
Here we are today. So I would love to now dive into your transaction volume like last year, and that'll give some context to my listeners. And I have some follow-up questions.
I say this very humbly. I don't, a lot of agents like to, tote their numbers, but I did 60 million last year. And I am an individual agent. I do not have a team. I have one assistant that helps me, but all the volume was solely on my own. And I am so proud of myself for doing 60 million because my business grew about 400% over the last year because I started doing so much more marketing and I started being more confident and I started embracing my authentic self. So with all of those three attributes lined up, I was able to really succeed in this industry. And I'm on track to do well over that. And it's only January of 2022. So, I work with a lot of high-end buyers and a lot of high-end sellers. And I attribute all the hard work that I put into this and to being kind to everybody and really doing the smallest of deals, $1,700 rental to a $16 million apartment that I sold last year, So if you put in the work and you keep going and you have a positive mindset, you're going to succeed. And
I love
think
that.
And I'm still continuing to succeed.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's high personal production volume and congratulations to your success. So you already gave some advice to the real estate agent that might be doing 20 million and wants to, scale up. Do you have any other tips other than, mindset? You mentioned you do have an assistant. Like, yes. Are there any kind of shifts other than that marketing that helped you to quadruple your business, a 400% increase in a year? Or really was it that marketing that really just enhanced everything?
So it's marketing and it's also like I say this, you have to spend money to make money. I have, it was COVID, but I had two huge parties. I had one February 2020, so right before the pandemic. I had about 120 people at a birthday party, all my friends, past clients. I had a full open bar. I had a full dinner for them. It was like a mini wedding for my birthday party. And people were like, Philip, I can't believe you're spending so much money on a birthday party. I said, no, it doesn't matter because that money that I'm spending is going to translate into volume for my business. Right. And guess what? It did. So many of those people that came to my party now use me as their agent. And if they don't use me as their agent, I am their referral source. Like they refer me so much business. So spend money to make money. I just had another huge half birthday party, very safe outdoor, indoor moment, vaccine booster required at that party. Same thing, spend money. You have to take care of your clients. So if taking care of your clients goes hand in hand with marketing, that's a big thing. So it's funny. I went to dinner with one of my colleagues and he was like, I think I want to take my clients out to dinner. I said, you take out 20, 30, 40 clients out to dinner. There was 1 week, I honestly had 14 dates within 5 days. I had a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for an entire week. And I said, and I made that in my mind. I said, I'm going to take out 15 of my clients this week. Let's do coffee. Let's go to Soho House. Let's go to dinner. Let's grab lunch. Let's go for a smoothie. And I had 14. I slacked on one because we couldn't get our schedules together, but 14 dates. I paid for every single one and just putting that face to face with them. It's a smoothie. It's a dinner. It's fries and a salad. Who cares? Spend the money. You have to spend the money to make the money. But don't do it in a pushy way. Like I genuinely like hanging out with people and I genuinely like being around people. So spending that money and spending that time is very valuable. The second thing of advice, and Jeffrey, I ramble a lot. I go on certified tangents. So just tell me if I'm talking.
I
But
will.
one of the other things is I did this whole campaign called Not Your Basic Broker. So I went to
Nice.
fashion school. I owned a clothing store. I had ads all down West Chelsea where I live. And it was me in black mesh with a black silk, long robe, neon yellow pants with a 6-inch heel. Another one was me in like a pink latex pant with like a skin tight, see-through pink, psychedelic Fenty by Rihanna moment. And agents in the office were like, Philip, what are you doing? I'm like, well, this is who I am. I like color. I like skin tight clothes. I like showing skin. I like fashion. To me, this is editorial moments. And my clientele appreciates that. So I'm putting it in West Chelsea, which is a predominantly art and fashion district. So when all these multi-million-dollar apartment owners are walking by my ad, they're like, I want to work with him. I don't want to work with a suit and tie broker. Nothing
Right.
against those people. We love suit and tie brokers because that's what they feel comfortable in. You will not catch me dead in a tie ever. So I did this whole, not your basic broker, and I started embracing my authentic self and being more confident in who I am as a person. And the business just catapulted from there.
That's an I love you, man strategy. Have you seen the movie I Love You, Man?
No, I haven't. Tell me.
Okay, so Paul Rudd and I forget the other actor's name, but basically best friends that meet in LA, and they just start hanging out all the time, right? And one of the things that the supporting actor does to help Paul Rudd's real estate career, he puts up all these billboards, and it's like Paul Rudd in a suit holding a gun, and he has like a 007 quip, and then it's him in like a Speedo with like a ripped body, and as you're driving down Sunset Boulevard, it's all these like amazing, like on point, but like it's either like funny or surprising, and it's not your average real estate sign, right? At first, Paul Rudd's mad that the other guy did this, and their friendship, that's like the part of the movie where the friendship dissolves, and then they have to like make up and come back together. But through that, he gets this listing for Lou Ferrigno, who was like, I think the old Superman, and so it totally like his phone starts blowing up, right? It starts ringing off the hook, and that's so interesting because you actually did that in real life, and you did it for yourself, for your authentic self.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
So one, I need to see that movie now. I'll watch it on Netflix tonight or whatever streaming service it's on. But yeah, I filmed and I shot all this with my idea and my vision. And I went to, the Compass marketing department, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. You're going to see the same Phillip at dinner on a Friday night as you are going to see him on Tuesday afternoon showing. I'm not going to change anybody. I'm going to be who I am 24/7. And if you don't want it, then you don't have to work with me. And Compass was like, you do whatever you want to do. If you want to do the black mesh shirt with a silk long robe, you go ahead and do it. If you want to do a pink latex moment, you go ahead and do it. And it worked in the end,
Yeah. And there's a powerful lesson in that. It's hard to embrace your authentic self.
Yeah. And it's funny, like I even run, my clients or other brokers come to me like, I wish I could, like, I'm wearing a crop top right now. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, this is who I am. It's 80 degrees in California right now. So, but I talk to these other brokers, like, I wish I can wear what you wear. I'm like, why don't you? Like, why don't you wear whatever you want? Or like a client, it's funny. Like I was speaking to a client and he's like, well, I work in a law firm and like, I have to wear a suit and tie. I said, who told you that you have to wear a suit and tie? The normative agenda that everybody's been following. I go completely against any type of normative agenda. So if I told this lawyer, if you want to pierce your ears, if you want to wear, not a tie, like go for it. Like you should be able to do and act and be whoever you want to be.
Right.
I'm going on a tangent.
No, but if that's your personality, I just had to talk about niche marketing. If that's your personality and you reflect it in the clothing and how you present yourself in the professional workspace, then those are the types of clients you'll attract.
Exactly. And it's worked for me, and I'm very happy about doing it.
I love that. So I want to talk about Agent P's world. Seems like
Yes.
you are now the main character of a docuseries.
Yes, yes. So Agent P's world. I want to rewind. I did an Instagram series called Three Things with Agent P last year, where I would pick out New York City neighborhoods, and I would go to a restaurant because I love to eat. I'd find a clothing store because I love to shop, and then I'd find my favorite listing in that neighborhood. So I built these lifestyle videos. They were about a minute long, and it was me eating food, shopping, acting crazy, and then walking around a listing. If the listing had a pool, I would jump in the pool. It was like crazy. Okay. So I would just have fun with this. And people are like, Philip, you need your own reality TV show. Like these minute long, three things need to be longer, and we want to see like your whole world. So I was like, I don't know. Like I filmed a $1 million listing episode with Steve. Thank you, Steve, if you're listening. I brought one of my clients there. We had a great time. I love the whole cast of $1 million listing. So I got like a taste of that reality TV. But people like felt like, we want to see your own show. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to produce my own TV show and have my clients and my friends see what it's really like to be in Agent P's world. That's the name of the show. So I had a camera crew follow me around for about 45 days. It's everything from me fighting with my husband, my husband and I making up, to me taking my clients to $15 million listings, to me volunteering at the pet shelter, to me having a huge birthday party for my clients. You see every facet of my life in these Agent P's World episodes, but they're narrowed down to like 15 minutes. So we film hours and hours of footage. So you get a glimpse into Agent P's world. So it's so funny because I don't think any agent has done that. I haven't seen any reality TV series for an agent. So I was like, I want to do something completely different. And now it's so funny. We're on episode 2. We're going to post episode 3 next week. And my clients are like, I cannot believe I'm learning so much about you. I feel like I know so much about you. I cannot wait to work with you again. I can't wait to send all my clients to you. So it's funny that like, even though like I'm not spending time with so much people, they're seeing me on the screen, and it's building a relationship with them that way. So it's like the perfect marketing, and I'm having so much fun doing it. The filming has been amazing. I've learned a lot about myself filming it, and it's a good show. Everybody loves it. I haven't heard any negative feedback so far. So
That's awesome. Agent P's world.
Agent P's world.
What a great concept, right? You document what you're doing and put it out there. I like your how it started with these video shorts. I think that's totally doable for any agent. The 3 things, and you took it to the next level because you ended up resonating with, liking it, and your following liked it. So that's a natural next step, and I think that's awesome. So my next question is, success leaves clues. So I'm curious about the single most important action you take every day that has attributed most to your success.
Oh, that's so easy. I love this question, but for me, I listen to Mariah Carey every morning, Make It Happen. And I just literally, I'm the biggest Mariah fan, if you know me. But listening to music gets me through anything. To me, it's so inspirational, especially Mariah Carey or any inspirational songs. So listening to this when I'm feeling down, I'm like, oh, business is slow, or how am I going to get my next, I think every agent, every self-entrepreneur has self-doubts. So the single most important thing that I do is listen to inspirational music to get me through and to keep me going.
Such a powerful way to change your state. Right?
It is. And I learned how to dance through watching Janet Jackson videos when I was like seventh and 8th grade. And I took hip hop classes because I wanted to dance like Janet Jackson. So I still dance. My friend Mila and I always rent out studios, and I always dance at my parties. I dance in my apartment. So being free and taking your mind off of real estate, or taking your mind out of the world or your problems, and listening to music and dancing, that is what has helped me. I'm sure you weren't expecting this answer. It could have been a cheesy motivational thing, but it's dancing and Mariah Carey.
No, honestly, that's a great answer, because music, it really speaks to me as well. And part of my authentic story is that I have always loved music, and I got into DJing and music production during and after college. And I've actually headlined some major nightclubs and played internationally, played festivals, and that was like a big part. Like the entertainment industry is a big part of actually the reason I got into digital marketing and then real estate. So it's a huge part of my story. And same thing. I mean, whether it's first thing in the morning, or I'm feeling down, or I'm getting ready for a workout, whenever I want to change my state, I just put on one of my favorite songs,
Who's your
and
go-to artist?
it's just boom, like it just has this huge effect. Good question. So there's a bunch that I go to. I mean, nowadays it has changed so much. It's usually electronic artists,
Cool.
honestly, like newer electronic stuff. You know
I love
what? Recently, I've really been digging into What So Not. I don't know if
that.
you know that artist, but
I
he has
don't
this
know.
incredible remix of Rufus Du Soul's song.
Cool.
And yeah, it's just like it's literally my wife and I's song. Like
Okay. You get hyped
it's
up.
yeah, it's a new like electronic dance music remix, and it's funny that like that is my wife and I's song. It's not like this classic. Like you think of someone, a couple song, and it's a lot of times it's like, oh, it's this because that's like the movies you saw, right? Oh, it's Frank Sinatra. It's whatever. This is the first
Yeah.
dance at their wedding, but mine's like this new electronic dance music remix of
I
this other
love it.
song. But anyway, anytime that song comes on, always brings down super fond memories. It's I've played it out in nightclubs. I've been living in Bali with her while I played it, and you
Oh
can
my
just
God.
see the smile on my face. Like it
Yeah.
lights me up, right?
Yeah. I love this.
Yeah. So totally resonate with that. And then through that process of listening to music you love in the morning, it is then setting your energy so high for the day, right? So then you go out, you embark on the day, you either face rejection or you don't, but either way, you're starting at such a high level of energy that it's like nothing can affect you,
Yeah. And
right?
it's funny that you bring up rejection because that's real estate agents' number one word. We get rejected 99% of the day. So,
Mm-hmm.
I just always push through rejection with when somebody says no, okay, great. We move on with our lives. Me 4 years ago when I started this, I would get rejection, and I would be like this industry sucks. But now I keep pushing through that. And I have also learned, I'm kind of going on a sidebar note here, but when I told somebody that I wanted to have my brand as Agent P, the guy was like, that's the stupidest thing. Like, you should not brand yourself as Agent P. To me, now it's everything that I do. It's Agent P's World, my TV show. It's what all my clients call me. I have a candle business called Agent P Lifestyle. I have a clothing brand called Agent P. It's just expanding and everybody loves it, and it's something that I love. So to go back to that, to your initial question, I like to listen to people's advice, but you should go with what your heart and gut is ultimately telling you in the end,
Mm-hmm.
even with these ads and this, like even this TV show, people are like, who's going to watch a TV show? Why are you doing this? Nobody cares. I posted the first one and I couldn't even do any work for 2 days because I was just responding to clients and responding to friends. Like, so that's the advice is do your thing, do your own thing, do it, the way that you want to do it, and listen to Mariah Carey in the morning.
And listen to Mariah Carey in the morning. So you definitely have some very interesting success tactics, and you've mentioned some unique things that you offer to your clients, like the parties. So you've already answered a couple of my questions, but
Yeah.
one that I have is, how has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for later success? Do you have like a favorite failure of yours?
Let's see. I'm smiling because I don't know if I want to say it, but I'm going to. I was doing a rental deal and I was helping somebody with like a $2,500 budget. This was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And the mom came and she was so mean to me. Like we were fighting over something because she didn't understand how brokers work in New York. New York brokers for rentals are like a completely different world. If you hire a broker, the tenant has to pay a fee. When it got time to pay the fee, it was this like horrible thing. She wrote a horrible review on Yelp. She went to the company that I was with and wrote a letter to the CEO saying how horrible of an agent I was, just because I was very transparent from the start that she had to pay a broker fee. And then when the time came to sign the papers, everything, I'm very transparent. That's one thing I truly pride myself on, is full transparency in this industry. So she kind of, made me feel horrible. She wrote all these bad reviews. She came finally to her senses and apologized. She took down the Yelp review. And then now I helped her son find a $2.5 million apartment that we just closed on 2 weeks ago. So that failure, like I thought like, oh my God, she's going to ruin my reputation. She's going to do all this. So I felt like I was a failure. And now I'm selling her son an apartment 4 years later. So I'm smiling because I was just I was just talking to him and
Yeah, no, that's so interesting. And I think that the principle there is transparency is what saved you.
Yeah.
Because if there was any shadow of a doubt that there was a moral issue or that you had been like quote unquote shady, right?
Mhm.
Then this is a different scenario. But because she was infuriated in the moment, took action on that emotion, right? She reacted to what she was feeling, and then she reflected later and said, "You know what? Philip was straight
It
up
wasn't
from the
wrong.
very beginning." And she was able to, I'm sure, then come to her senses and come around because of the transparency. So I think
I
that's really
brought
important.
I brought receipts to the table. I said that this was the email that I sent. This is the text exchange that they talked about the fee. And I had a conversation with your son about the fee on the phone. I had 3 different fees conversations. So it's all good now. I'm very happy. He's very happy in his new apartment.
Yeah, and life moves on.
Yeah,
So
nothing is
that
awkward to me. Nothing is awkward. Like if people are like, "Oh my god, wasn't that awkward?" No, it's not. Like you have an adult conversation. You move on with your life.
no, I
Sorry, I
love that.
interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna say the misalignment of expectations was resolved through
Yes,
communication.
exactly.
Yeah. So how do you leverage, like marketing and digital marketing to gain exposure for your listings and then also generate new leads?
So we all have smartphones now. It's the
Mm-hmm.
easiest thing to do. Videos, live stories, Instagram stories, Facebook stories. You never know who's watching. I just joined TikTok, Jeffrey. I'm trying to stay with the young kids on TikTok. So it's really being out in front of your client. In the simplest form is document your life, document the listings that you have, document your personal life. When I see agents that all they do is listing, 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 it gets kind of boring. So for me, it's something that I like. If they like that, great for them. But for me, I like to do everything. Listings, my personal life, me at a Mariah Carey concert, me taking a Janet Jackson dance class, me at my $16 million listing, me at the closing table. Just the whole realm of my world. And it doesn't even need to be on the show. It can be in real time on Instagram. And I'm doing more things like this. I'm doing more podcasts, trying to get my name more out there. Like right now, I'm here with you. I did an Instagram live with another company last week. It's just not saying no to anything. Just if your name can be out there on anybody's platform, do it.
And I think the concept there is not being afraid to just hit record and put stuff to market.
Exactly. And it's so funny. Like sometimes I sit there, I'm like, do people really want to see what I'm doing right now? And I'm like, you know what, they do. And if they don't, who cares? I'm having fun doing it. I'm being creative, with my phone. Even right now on this podcast, like I was like, oh, I like we've never met, and I'm like, how is this conversation gonna go? I'm having the best time ever. You go with a good mindset, you go with positive outlook, and it's gonna be, good overall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's so funny how fear in our mind can build things up so big that it's incomprehensible how we could even take the first step towards it. But then you take that first step and it's not as bad as you thought, and then the second and the third, and now you have momentum, and all of a sudden you're like, I was scared of what? Like, what the heck?
Nothing. It's so funny. My friend, she reached out to me to sell her $9 million listing. This is my good friend, and I'm scared to take it. I'm like, Philip, what are you doing? You've done this before. You've done so many high-end deals. But this is my friend. I'm scared. I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to do the wrong thing. The apartment's not going to sell. I'm going to price it wrong. All this stupid shit that's going on in my mind right now for no reason. Guess what happened? We got it into contract. Everything is fine. Everybody's happy. So the fear is typically the one thing of any entrepreneur that holds you back from trying to do anything. But once you get over that, you go full throttle.
No, it's so true. It's so true. So, in the last 5 years,
Yes.
what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
So one of the behaviors that I've been working on, and I say this, like I used to be very impatient, and I think I still am. So with impatience comes interrupting people, not listening, talking too much. So one of the traits that I've been learning to do is listen more, whether it be a client or a broker. As I'm here rambling for 45 minutes talking, I'm telling myself to listen more. But listen more. I think the other thing is, behaviorals, believe in yourself and be confident in who you are. I'm not trying to go into this like long story of like, for some reason it was hard for me to believe in myself as a gay person, be like, can a gay person be successful in this industry? Because you see it as a very like, male and female straight dominated, and it was like the gay people sometimes aren't taken seriously. And this is maybe my own self projection onto myself, but once I came to that point in my life, like, there is queer excellence, there is gay excellence, and I'm going to be one of those people that is excellent in that field. I started to change my behavior and be like, you know what, if I want to wear, again, a crop top or a pink moment or a mesh shirt, or if I want to be in sweatpants, I mean, not sweatpants, I don't do sweatpants. I want to rewind that moment with a client. But if I want to wear like just a simple outfit, it doesn't matter. It's who I am as a person, and just believing in yourself and believing that queer people and gay people have the opportunity to help luxury clients. We are worthy of it. And, any other gay or queer person that's listening, I hope that they feel worthy enough to do that. It's funny, I get DMs from the LGBTQ community all the time saying, thank you for, putting your confidence out there. Thank you for allowing me to believe in myself. Thank you for giving me the confidence to succeed at my job. So if I can be an inspiration to 1, 2, 3 people, great, so, and I get these messages all the time. So that was my tangent.
It was a great tangent. And, it goes back to you being your authentic self and then inspiring others that don't have the confidence yet to do that for themselves. That's such a powerful message to put out to the world, no matter what situation you're in. And I really admire how you've overcome that personally and then shared that journey with the world and shown through your own actions and consistency that this is achievable. Like, you can break the mold of talk about an old industry, real estate. It's been around for hundreds of years, I think, where people are helping, sell and buy houses, and they're specializing in that. And talk about an industry that is slow to adapt to technology and change. And here you are breaking the mold, experiencing extreme success within a 5-year period, transitioning from the fashion world into the real estate world. It would seem seamlessly, but there was a journey in that, and you're able to now share that with the world, which is awesome.
You said it perfectly. I don't even know what to say after that. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I'm curious if you hear any bad recommendations given to real estate professionals, that, if you had like a billboard that you could communicate with all real estate professionals today, and you could say, like, this is a bad recommendation. Don't follow this.
Shady. I don't want to be shady. The pictures of people pretending to be on their cell phones really gets me. Like, every real estate agent has that one picture where they're like doing their finger like 1 minute, but they're on their phone, or like they're checking their phone. Like, I'm like, we got to get out of that habit. Again, this is all my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's bad advice. I think just being like too smooth talker, like acting like you know it all. Like, there are a lot of brokers that act like they know everything. Me, I don't know everything, and I'm very honest. If I'm on the phone with a client and they're just doing, what are the comps? What is the price per square foot? What do you think I can get for the apartment? I would say, like, hey, I'm going to present you with data. You caught me off guard. I'm being completely honest. Let me present you with data. And when we have 15 minutes to talk, you have it in front of you, I have it in front of me, then we're going to talk. If I don't know something right away, I'm going to figure it out. And then we go on to have another conversation. So don't fake it till you make it. I think faking it till you make it is a bad advice. And everybody always says, fake it till you make it. I could have been posting my first post. I could have been like, oh my God, I just rented a $17,000 apartment. But like, no, I'm going to post, I just rented a $1,700 apartment. So be honest throughout your journey, and don't take a cell phone in your hand picture.
I like it. So I'm also curious, like, when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, what questions or processes do you go through? Is there like a question you ask yourself to get back on track, or like a process that you go to not be overwhelmed and unfocused?
That is such a good question, to be honest, because I I'm human. As much as you see the great success and you see the press that I have and you see the sales that I do, I can get unmotivated and unfocused and my mind can go a million directions. So one thing I do is I've been trying to take literally one full day off a week where I don't do any real estate. I don't even look at my emails. So just having that one full day, I wake up when I want, I go on a walk, I have lunch outside, I don't answer my phone when it rings,
Mm-hmm.
I just try to have one day off and I delegate that to my assistant. So again, going back to spending money to make money, I pay for an assistant. He even gets percentages of my deals to incentivize him into making sure that the deal goes through. And when I'm off, he can do those things,
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
and then the mindset that I have is, gosh, I don't want to go back to Mariah Carey, but listening to music or going on a vacation. If I'm like, I just need to get out of New York and do something different and have a change of scenery, that's what I'm gonna do.
True that.
Yeah.
I'm big on having a true day of rest every week, because it's so easy when you become a real estate agent or you become an entrepreneur to give up your 9 to 5 to now work 24/7.
And
Right.
that's not me. I don't understand the whole, hustle all day, every day. No, I work hard. I want to play harder and I don't want to hustle my life. I want to be, relaxed and leisured rather than, again, this is a hustle job, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to run myself to the grave doing like running around. You
Exactly.
delegate,
Exactly.
you delegate, when to, refer clients out. If you want, you build a team, some of the most
Hmm.
successful agents I know are the calmest people. They know how to run their team. They are the nicest people. And those are the people that I look up to, not the ones that are, hustle, hustle, hustle. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So I'm curious, when you're evaluating something, there are so many things to say yes to,
Hmm.
right? It's so easy to say yes, even this podcast right now, right?
Yeah.
This is technically not an income producing activity. So I'm curious, what is the process that you go through to evaluate what to say no to?
So I love saying yes. Like I said, I have my clothing line, my candle business. I did this reality TV show. I do all this marketing. I'm a real estate agent. I don't like to be calm. So, going back to the hustle, I do hustle a lot, but I have fun doing it. But my process of saying no is, if we're talking about clients directly, if they're unrealistic in their budget, if they're unrealistic in their search, I am not David Copperfield. I cannot make your apartment appear
Right.
in your dream budget. So I educate people. I think real estate agents are educators. Um, if you're good at your job, you know how to communicate to clients what's real and what's not. So if they're unrealistic in their budget, then I do say no to that. But if it's an opportunity to, like you said, do a podcast or be in front of a camera, I don't care. I love doing this and I have fun doing it. And if it comes from good intention and it has value for all parties involved, then I'm all about it.
Love it.
So it has to be value driven. So that's what I like. If it's not, then I say no.
So is there a question that I should have asked you or anything that you'd like to expand upon from earlier?
Probably my love for dogs and how I'm not just an agent for people, I'm an agent for dogs too. I think
Hmm.
giving back to the community, no matter what your passion is, give back to the community. Agents, again, they're running around, they're showing apartments. Sometimes you forget what it's like to put your feet on the ground and have a humble moment. So I go to the dog shelter at least once a week, and those are my clients for those 3 or 4 hours that I'm there. Again, I will not pick up the phone. I don't care if you're having an emergency moment; it can wait. So being humble and you know getting involved in the community, and I've met so many people from the dog shelter as well, clients, friends, people that I really care about.
That's awesome. Yeah, and definitely admirable work, but it's important to you, and that's really what matters.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Well, how can listeners contact you?
I have a website, which is philipowensalem.com. you can get me on IG, which is at Phillip Owen Salem. Or you can email me, phillipsalem@compass.com. There are lots of ways, and I will respond to whichever medium you choose.
Phenomenal. Phillip Salem, everyone. He is a licensed real estate broker in New York and actually soon to be licensed in California. He mentioned before the show that will be able to service clients coast to coast, and he's currently out in LA for the winter, which is great. So, really appreciate having you on. And, the message today, I think, is just authenticity through and through.
Exactly. I love this. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for having me. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the listeners.
Thank you for listening. If you want to accomplish your real estate goals, then I highly suggest downloading my free Ultimate Real Estate Goal Setting Framework. The link is in the description of the show, and it will help you break down your annual income goal into the amount of phone calls, appointments, or open houses you need in order to achieve that goal. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.